Good afternoon. Anybody here? Thank you all for coming out on this Saturday afternoon. I'd like to thank Judge Jimmy Edwards, Chief Hayden, Lisa Picciotto of Crime Stoppers, and Tim Dorsey of Crime Stoppers, and the whole Crime Stoppers board for joining us today. The reckless gun violence and use claimed the life of another child yesterday, an 8-year-old little girl. Conventional policing tactics are not enough. We need information from the public to help us bring these shooters to justice. We are all at risk when these suspects remain on the street. I want to announce today that due to the efforts of many people who are here with me, we have secured a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of individuals responsible for the shooting of our children. As you know, we have had 5 young children shot and killed this summer: a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old. The message now is for these shooters: when you engage in this type of violent behavior, there will be a significant incentive for people to give us information to lead to your arrest. I fully expect that the amount of this reward will help potential suspects to pause before they try to settle their disputes. We do not want any retaliation from family members of young kids who have been shot. It's very important for us to make these arrests quickly. We believe and we hope that this $25,000 reward in each of these open cases will be sufficient. We hope to bring folks to Crime Stoppers, which, as you all know, is completely anonymous. And we're hopeful that today this announcement will make its way to the communities and to the individuals responsible for these shootings. And we believe that there are folks out there who know something that could be of great use to our police department. Thank you to the media for being here today. We ask you to please publish this $25,000 reward. Give us the coverage that we need to have so that we can bring justice to these little kids that have been killed. I want to turn this over to Chief Hayden, who will talk a little bit more about the situation, and we'll also hear from Jimmy Edwards, Judge Jimmy Edwards, and Lisa Picciotto from Crime Stoppers. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. On Tuesday, April 30th of this year, in the 5900 block of Ferris, little Caden Johnson and his mother were shot to death in their home as they hid from intruders in a hallway closet. Caden was 2 years old. On Sunday, June 9th of this year, in the 4600 block of Michigan, little Kennedy Powell was shot to death as she stood on the sidewalk in front of her home with her family. Kennedy was 3 years old. On Friday, July 19th of this year, in the 4700 block of Page, little Eddie Hill III was shot to death as he stood on the porch of his home with his family. Eddie was 10 years old. And finally, on last evening, in the 1100 block of Union, little Journey Thompson was shot to death as she stood in front of a restaurant with family members awaiting their food order. Journey was 8 years old. Although each one of these cases is being actively investigated, there has not been an arrest made in any one of them.
In each of these cases, police investigators know that people were at or near the scene of these homicides. Please help us find the shooters. If you or someone else you know may be hiding a shooter, please turn them in. Your failure to turn in people that have committed these types of offenses may also cause you to be charged with a crime. I know that there are many other homicides in our city without an arrest yet. The St. Louis Police Department continues to work those cases very, very hard. Our hearts go out to all of the victims' families. I wish we had more money in order that we might post similar rewards in all of those cases. We do not. We hope that those that are listening who want to help, please help us by contacting the police. If you know something, please contact Crime Stoppers. At this time, I will invite Lisa Pichota to give you more information with respect to Crime Stoppers.
Thanks for having me and thanks for being here. As you know, Crime Stoppers is a 24-hour tip hotline, completely anonymous. I can't stress that enough. For the last 14 years, Crime Stoppers has been anonymous, keeping everyone's information away from any information going to the police. Crime Stoppers does not ask for your name, your phone number. We don't trace your calls. We don't have IP address traces. Nothing is traced. It's completely anonymous. It's been that way for 14 years in St. Louis. It's worldwide for over 50 years now. So I hope that the citizens in St. Louis and the bi-state area understand that and can be comforting in the fact that the information they call Crime Stoppers with is completely anonymous. Going forward from there, that information will go directly to the police, that the investigators that need that information within moments of getting that information so that they can investigate it. If the investigation shows that that tip information renders an arrest, the tipster's already been advised to call us back because, again, we don't call them. We don't have their number. So any tipsters that keep track of their information will call us back, and then if they get a reward, they will be advised at that time. So 866-371-8477 is the tip phone number, is the hotline number. You can go on your phone. There is an app on the phone. It's a free app. It's a P3 Tips is the name of it. You can put information in on that, and again, completely anonymous, goes directly to us. Our tips online and on our phone are answered 24/7. You do not get a recording with us. You get a live person with us when you call. There's also the website at stlrcs.org. You can type in anything into those. It gives you instructions on how to keep track of that and how to get a password and refer to that. Again, the phone number to call us is 866-371-TIPS. That's an 866 number, so you put a 1 in front of that. And if there's any information, or if there's any information that you don't know, that you think might be helpful, but you just don't know, call us. We'll take that information anyway and let the investigators go forward with the information. If they find something out with it, that's great. If they're not useful, they'll let us know. But if you know something, you've got to give us a call. We've got to keep this from happening again.
Thank you all. I just want to reiterate this $25,000 reward we hope is going to be a very significant reward to bring justice for these children and for their families. If you are as outraged as I am, and I say, who does this? Who shoots in the direction of a 3-year-old? Who shoots in the direction of a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old? Then please help the police to solve these crimes. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to the media for publicizing this reward.
I'm sorry, I didn't let everybody know on this reward. The $25,000 is going to be available for anyone to give us a call with information that leads to an arrest, but it will only be available until September 1st. There is a timeline on this $25,000. Right now, it's September 1st. So if anybody knows anything, they need to give Crime Stoppers a call as soon as possible. Right now would be a good time.
Thank you, Lisa. I should have remembered that. Thank you all. Are there questions?
Yes.
Is it
Question for Lisa.
$25,000?
Why is it only available until September 1st? That's not very far.
It's about a week, of course. It's available because this is urgent.
But not September 2nd, 3rd, 4th?
This is urgent. Right now, we hope that we will be able to get information to the police today, tomorrow, Monday. it expresses the urgency of this situation.
And Crime Stoppers also has the additional $5,000 reward, up to $5,000. That's our original reward. That will go from September 1st on. It will stay there.
Is the $25,000 per case? Or
It
is
is.
it going to be okay.
It is. It's $25,000 for all of the children open cases.
So to be clear, if 2 of them are solved, $50,000 will be handed out to whoever helps solve.
$25,000 per
exactly.
case.
So it would be if 2 were solved, it would be $50,000.
There'd be 50,000
Yes.
left.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
And where did this money come from? Because you said you secured the money.
We have a donor.
We have many donors that support us in Crime Stoppers. We have 2 donors that were particularly moved and concerned about the homicide and deaths of the youngsters in our community. And I'd like to thank Rex and Jeannie Sinkfield, who stepped up to indicate to me that they were very interested in helping the police, and I'm awfully grateful to them for that.
Any more questions? Do you think this is going to work? You would think anybody killing a 2-year-old or 3-year-old is enough to call and report it. Do you think this money is going to matter to these people who are hiding, running, and doing whatever?
Yes.
Is this going to work?
Absolutely.
Yes,
we think it's going to work. Absolutely, yes.
Can you talk about the challenges that you guys have faced in terms of trying to solve these cases?
Certainly. So oftentimes we get information. A lot of times it ends up being a lead that has a hindrance to it. But the detectives do a lot of active investigation. Oftentimes the information that we need to clinch the arrest or to make the full investigation or to complete it, there's just not enough information coming in to make that closure.
So, like, are enough people coming forward? Are people coming forward? Or are you not getting enough tips?
Correct.
What is the issue?
That is correct. So oftentimes we don't get enough information to make a good arrest. I mean, so not to say that you don't get any, but something valuable, something significant enough to make an arrest.
Last question. Chief, can you update us on the conditions of the 2 18-year-old and the other one that shot in the union?
I actually don't know that right now. I just know that as of last evening, they were all in stable condition.
You said that they were waiting for their food in front of a restaurant. Can you give any more information about how they're related, what was happening at the time of the shooting, if they're involved with the football event nearby at Silvan?
Sure. So they had attended the football game, and it's my understanding that at least 3 of those persons are cousins.
Chief, what's your message to families whose children may be scared to really do anything? Some of these kids have been just shot on their front porch. They're being shot at these football jamborees. What's your message to them about how safe they should feel, and if they're not feeling safe at all?
Hey, that's a hard one. Hey, what you would hope is that in other words, it should be intolerable. And so, hey, all of these activities are something normal. They're common. This was a family event. So really, the norm really should be that it's unacceptable to the community that something like this can happen. So naturally, you can't stop playing football. We're not going to say stop going to football games, but it should be unacceptable to all of us. It should be intolerable that this could happen at a football game or another family event.
All right, thank you all. You guys have asked us to change the narrative many times, having the same topic, and we are trying, at least for what we do on this side. Are we beyond that point of changing the narrative, or are we really now telling you what's happening? The stats are not lying. Where are we really?
Hey, I think where we are is that we have to realize that as a community, that people, and we've heard this often, hey, it cannot be that people are more concerned about what will happen to them if they cooperate with the police. It's what will happen to little children if you don't. That's kind of where we need to be, and that's where we aren't.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.